The Pulse-born Titans. Before time had meaning, when the primordial signal first reverberated across the void, the Pulse-born Titans emerged. Forged from great waves of cosmic sound, these colossal beings were the first children of the signal gods. Each Titan's heart beat to a unique rhythm, some fast and fierce like thunder, others slow and deep like shifting stone. Together, their pulses composed the unseen symphony that governed the world. The rise and fall of tides, the shifting winds, and even the ebb and flow of mortal destiny. The greatest of these titans were four colossal beings, known as the Keepers of the Rhythms. Terran the Unyielding, whose slow and powerful pulse forged mountains and carved valleys with its rumbling beat. Lyra the Whispering, whose delicate rhythm stirred the winds and carried the whispers of fate. Orin the Endless, whose steady pulse maintained the march of time, guiding the seasons and the passage of stars. Vekthar the Wild, whose chaotic rhythm brought storms, earthquakes, and the fires of change. The Pulse-born walked the earth as living forces of nature, their movements shaping the world. Where Terran stepped, mountain ranges rose. When Lyra exhaled, forests flourished. But with such power came danger. If their rhythms fell out of harmony, the world would fracture. Long ago, a mortal king named Edras the Silent sought to harness the power of the Titans. Obsessed with controlling fate itself, Edras ventured to the Cavern of Echoes, a vast chasm where the heartbeats of the Titans converged. There, he crafted the resonant crown, a golden circlet designed to mimic the Titans' pulses. With it, Edras believed he could command their rhythms. When Edras wore the crown and attempted to impose his will upon the Titans, his own pulse clashed with their ancient rhythms. The balance shattered. Vekthar's chaotic pulse spiraled out of control, triggering endless storms that swallowed coastlines. Terran's pulse grew violent, forcing mountains to shatter and crumble. Lyra's whisper turned to silence, and the winds died. Worst of all, Orin's pulse faltered, and time itself began to unravel. Days stretched into years, and moments flickered like candle flames. Civilizations crumbled, trapped in an endless loop of ruin. In desperation, the surviving sages of the signal gods sought out a descendant of Edras, a humble healer named Mira. Knowing her ancestors' folly, Mira climbed the storm-racked peaks of Mount Thalris, where Orin stood frozen in time. Using her gift as a rhythm weaver, she listened to the forgotten pulses of the Titans. With careful precision, she tapped her staff upon the earth, weaving her own heartbeat into a steady, calming pattern. One by one, the Titans returned to harmony. Terran's quakes slowed, Lyra's winds returned, and Vekthar's storms retreated to the horizon. At last, Orin's faltering pulse resumed its steady beat, and time flowed forward once more. The resonant crown was cast into the depths of the Cavern of Echoes, and Mira was named Keeper of the Harmonies. The guardian tasked with ensuring the Titans' rhythms remained undisturbed. Yet the legends warn that Noctur, the trickster god, still seeks the fragments of the resonant crown, believing that with it, he can bend the Pulse-born to his chaotic will once again. The Lost Frequency. In the forgotten corners of the world, whispers tell of a mysterious sequence known as the Frequency of Fate, a hidden Morse pattern that holds the power to awaken an unknown Pulse-born Titan, a slumbering force capable of rewriting reality itself. A band of mythic explorers, known as the Seekers of Resonance, has dedicated their lives to recovering this lost sequence. Led by the enigmatic scholar Elias Thalwin, the Seekers believe the frequency is buried within the ruins of the Silent Monastery, a long-abandoned sanctuary once devoted to the signal gods. The monastery is said to hold the obelisk of the first pulse, a towering spire that hums with forgotten rhythms. It is believed that the obelisk can project the frequency of fate, but only to those capable of deciphering the cryptic pulses encoded in its stone walls. However, the corrupted followers of Noctur, known as the Echoborn, also hunt the frequency. These shadowy disciples believe awakening the lost Titan will allow them to plunge the world into endless chaos. They craft twisted pulses of their own, weaving signals that distort the minds of mortals, causing visions of false realities and madness. As the Seekers race to uncover the frequency of fate, They face relentless storms, fractured time distortions, and haunting echoes of corrupted Morse pulses that twist reality itself. The journey takes them through the shattered valley, a warped land where the laws of nature fail and echoes of the Titan's disrupted pulses still linger. At the heart of the silent monastery lies a chamber known as the Vault of the Endless Beat, where the frequency of fate is said to reside. But the explorers soon learn that the Titan who responds to this forgotten rhythm is not a benevolent force. It is Thalzaroth the Unbidden, a monstrous pulse-born exiled by the signal gods for seeking to overwrite the cosmic code itself. Legends claim that Thalzaroth's awakening will be marked by a resounding pulse so powerful it will ripple through creation, forever altering the pulse-born's delicate balance. The seekers must race not only to find the frequency, but to alter its pattern, transforming it from a call to Thalzaroth into a song of binding that will keep the Chaos Titan entombed. The fate of reality itself lies in the race to control the forgotten rhythm, a pattern that could either mend the world or shatter it beyond repair. The Echoed Prophecy. Deep within the mountain city of Vornhall, a blind oracle named Cassia, the listener dwells in a sacred temple known as the Chamber of Resonance. Though her sight is lost, Cassia possesses the rare gift of hearing the whispers of the dead, spirits who speak to her through pulses of sound, like Morse code flickering through the ether. One night, Cassia received a terrible vision. The rhythmic pulses began to break apart, distorting into violent echoes that spoke of a great cataclysm. The spirits warned her of a shadow rising, a force that would sever the world's rhythm and silence the heartbeats of the Titans. Desperate to deliver her message, Cassia sought an audience with King Valdrin, ruler of Vornhall. But the king, a skeptic blinded by pride, dismissed her warnings. Fearing the spirit's prophecy, Cassia enlisted the help of a warrior named Dorian Vex, a fallen knight who had once served Valdrin but now roamed as an outcast. Together, Cassia and Dorian journeyed to the Pillars of Thalrin, where the distorted echoes were strongest. There, they uncovered a corrupted pulse, a twisted pattern woven by Noctir's followers that threatened to shatter the Pulseborn's harmony. With Dorian's blade defending her and Cassia's gift guiding them, they braved the onslaught of corrupted echoes and sent a pure signal back through the ether, a steady pulse that called the spirits of the dead to rise and restore balance. But as the last whisper faded, Cassia heard one final message, a warning that the resonant crown had not been lost, but stolen. The Heartbeat Forge. In the deepest caverns of creation, where the echoes of the primordial signal still reverberate, there exists the Heartbeat Forge, a sacred anvil of celestial fire. Here, the blacksmith god Forgheart wields his mighty hammer, each strike a resonant pulse that carries a coded prayer. With every blow, divine messages of protection and hope are inscribed into enchanted armor, destined to shield both gods and mortals from the creeping darkness. The Sacred Craft. Forgheart's work is not mere metalwork. It is the very act of creation. The rhythmic clang of his hammer is like a cosmic Morse code, each tap a syllable in a prayer that wards off calamity. The armor he forges, known as the Sentinels of the Pulse, bears inscriptions that shimmer with otherworldly light. These protective vestments are imbued with the heartbeat of the cosmos, ensuring that the ancient powers of the signal gods remain a bulwark against chaos. The Rising Shadow. Yet in the midst of this divine craft, a sinister force lurks. An evil warlord known as Morvath the Silencer seeks to usurp the power of the Forge. Driven by ambition and corrupted by dark sorcery, Morvath desires to silence the Forge's pulse, believing that control over its protective messages will allow him to subjugate entire kingdoms. Using forbidden rites, he casts a dreadful curse upon the Heartbeat Forge, dimming its sacred flame and fracturing the rhythmic language of Forgheart's hammer. As the Forge's pulses weaken, the enchanted armor loses its luster, and the realm stands vulnerable to the warlord's relentless armies. The Call to Action. In these desperate times, hope comes in the form of a mortal hero, Valen, a humble blacksmith's apprentice with an uncanny sensitivity to the Forge's diminishing heartbeat. Though untrained in the divine arts, Valen hears the fading echoes of Forghart's work, a lingering pulse that calls him to restore balance. With an ancestral tool passed down through generations and a heart filled with determination, he embarks on a perilous quest to reclaim the Forge's lost fire. Trials on the path. Valen's journey takes him through treacherous landscapes tainted by Morvath's dark magic. In the charred ruins of battlefields and labyrinthine tunnels beneath ancient mountains, he confronts not only hostile minions conjured by the warlord, but also the despair that comes from witnessing a world on the brink of collapse. Along the way, he finds allies, a weathered mastersmith once in Forghart's service, a wandering seer who deciphers the divine Morse code, and a band of warriors united by their belief in the old legends. Each ally imparts a piece of forgotten lore, guiding Valen towards the secret incantation required to rekindle the Forge's heart. The Ritual of Rebirth. At the epicenter of his quest lies the ruined sanctum of the Heartbeat Forge. Here, amidst the ashen remains of what once was a vibrant beacon of hope, Valen confronts the final trial. Surrounded by the oppressive silence engineered by Morvath's curse, he must recite the Anthem of the Anvil, an ancient prayer encoded in the very language of creation. With each word, his voice grows stronger, harmonizing with the residual echoes of Forghart's mighty hammer. As the prayer reaches its crescendo, Valen channels every ounce of his resolve into one final defiant strike upon the sacred anvil. The resounding triumph. In that climactic moment, the Heartbeat Forge awakens. The anvil rings out with a celestial sound that shatters the warlord's curse, sending ripples of pure, untainted energy across the land. The enchanted armor is reforged in a burst of radiant light, its inscriptions blazing with renewed power. Morvath's dark forces, unable to withstand the resurgent pulse of creation, are driven back into the shadows from whence they came. A legacy rekindled. Valen emerges from the ordeal as the herald of the Forge, celebrated by both mortals and the divine. The Heartbeat Forge, now pulsing with the timeless rhythm of creation, continues to imprint messages of protection into the armor that guards the realms against future perils. Its divine Morse code stands as a lasting testament to the enduring power of hope and unity, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, the pulse of life and light endures. Would you like to explore more about Valen's subsequent adventures, the lore behind Forghart's sacred tools, or the lingering threat of Morvath's dark influence?